Hello and welcome back to Chengi's World. Thank you so much for joining me. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome to Chengi's World. I am Chengi and you, my precious one, are my world. Welcome to my living room. Welcome to my space. Welcome to my world, where plenty of beautiful, amazing women join me every single Monday. So it's Man Talk Monday. And for those of you who are coming back to my channel, you know I appreciate you and I love you. And I do read your comments. And I always make sure that I try to reply. And ladies, let's move on to today's video. I posted something on Instagram that was give him a safe place to park his heart, and I wanted to do a video on that because it is really important that we realize that I think one of the things that we face is the fact that most of us have dealt with immature men, boys. We've dated men who are immature. We've dated men who are players. For me, players are little boys, you know, people who are inappropriate and who add zero value to us. And so as a result, we've built philosophies and beliefs and mindsets around men as a gender. And we have created this mindset that you know, all men are the same, or they are heartless. They don't feel the pain in the same way that we feel pain. That's why they can come to us, lie to us, leave us brokenhearted, and you know, just go off and enjoy and just get a new girlfriend, right? Because that has been the experience that we've had with the immature, narcissistic, terrible guys, right? But I want to just bring us into this healthy place and space that I keep talking about, where they are these good men. And part of how we hone in that they are good men, there is abundance. How we hone that in is to have the right thoughts in and around that thinking. So we're going to begin to live and walk in that place of abundance, where we're talking right now about good guys that know how to treat a woman like a lady, guys that know how to really value, cherish, and treasure a woman. Okay, so I want you to know that they exist, but because we have been hurt, disappointed so many times before, we have become hardened to their emotions, that they don't feel, they don't we can say what we like. I've been in conversations with women who just say what they like to their men, treat them really badly, have this brash sort of attitude, and still expect these men to feel safe. Now, the reality of it is we are human. We're not always going to be able to create a safe environment for another human being, because hurting people hurt others the most. So if we haven't healed of our own pain, then we're going to project that onto him. And I have seen enough situations where a good man begins to shut down emotionally. And when men shut down emotionally, getting that door to open is a God job. It takes so much time, patience, prayer to really get them to be open again to you, to trust you enough to really invest in the way that they want to or were doing in the beginning. Because when we get hurt and we feel disappointed and we open our mouth and we're like, we can create a place that is not safe for them, a place that, you know, if they were to invest here and pour their heart into this, they're going to get disappointed, they're going to get hurt, they're going to end up in the same situation they end up with those other girls that played them or used them or whatever. Because again, we think we're the only ones that go through that, but men also go through a lot of situations with gold digging women, with heartless women, with women that don't care about them. And so men are not as emotionally intelligent. They cannot process their emotions at the same rate and the same pace that we do. And the reason we're able to do that is because we can talk through our emotions. Men were taught not to talk through emotions, not to even reflect them or consider them, and it's like a minefield for them. Dealing with that emotional space is a real minefield, and they do deal with it, but not in the way that we do. We will pick up the phone and speak to a friend about what happened, and we heal so much quicker and move on so much quicker. But when you hurt a guy, when you say something that hurts him, or hit him below the belt, and say something that he shared with you in confidence, that he shared with you in a moment of vulnerability, and you take that and you put that in his face, it's going to be very hard for him to trust you again with that level of trust. and it's going to take a while for him to work it through, and it's going to, and often we're not even aware that we've stepped on those toes, and it manifests in his subtle disinterest in the relationship, his subtle pulling back in the relationship, because that's what happens. A wounded animal begins to sort of find a safer place to be, and that is how he was before he met you, and the place that he was before he met you. So we can create unsafe environments in multiple ways. So the first one that I spoke about was using a situation that he shared with you intimately in that moment where he trusted you and loved you, and taking that and putting that in his face and using that in an argument to win, or taking that thing that that is sacred to him and sort of pushing it in his face, because that if you accuse him of that, he's gonna and often we do it because we want to get his attention. We're tired of feeling kind of ignored, like he's not feeling the same way. So to get a reaction, sometimes we will go for it and touch that sacred lamb, because everyone has a sacred lamb. Everyone has that little bit where they are vulnerable, and we can do that, and that you become an unsafe place for him to park his heart truly. And if he was pursuing you at 100 miles an hour, he's going to slow that down to 40, maybe 50, 60 if you're really lucky. And that is because you have not created that safe space. Another thing that creates an unsafe space is a woman that comes into a relationship or comes out here in the dating world with a desire to find a man that has most of what she wants, and then she insists on controlling him and changing him to be exactly what she wants. Whenever you enter into a situation, a dating relationship or a situation with a man where you enter into it with the intention of changing that person, oh, they're really nice, they're this and the other, but I really wish they were A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then you begin to enter into that realm and that sphere and begin to try and influence that person, to begin to not influence, but begin to try and change that person through manipulation, exploiting them, what it does, it creates within that person a sense of inadequacy. It creates within that person a sense that they're not good enough as they are. You might not be saying it, but the intent of your heart reads, because the things that you will be trying to do, I want you to do the things that I like doing. I enjoy going to the opera, so you have to enjoy that too. And if you don't enjoy doing that, then there's something wrong with you, and I'm going to push and I'm going to pull and I'm going to tug and I'm going to do everything to get you to do the things I like, because I wanted all my life to have a guy that enjoys going to the opera or to the theater with me, and you're not that guy, so therefore I'm going to try and mold you and make you into that guy. And already he begins to feel unsafe, because who he is just not good enough for you. Who he is naturally is not good enough for you. And so it's really important to not have that mindset. It's really important not to have that mindset. The third thing that we can do to make a man feel that his heart will not be safe if he parked it with yours is the feeling that he can never please you, that everything that he does is met with a cold reception. If he does something to make you happy, it's either greeted with a cold reception, or it is a snide comment, or something is made, and he feels that no matter how far out he goes and how much money he spends and how much time he invests, he's never going to please you. That creates for him a place where he feels unsafe. Men rejoice and are glad, and their masculinity is enhanced, and they feel truly in their masculine space when they can make their feminine happy. It's so important for a masculine man to make his feminine happy. His ability to do things for you that make you smile, that make you happy, and your ability to appreciate it and to vocalize it and to say, look, this is really, really, really made me very happy. That's very important for a man to feel safe, to feel like he can meet your needs, to feel that he can be adequate. And when a man feels like there is no pleasing you, then he begins to retreat, because he doesn't want that feeling of inadequacy. Okay, so a lot of the things that we do, we need to be careful, because the healing process of a man will just take that bit longer. Him trusting you again can even become a deal breaker for him, because some men, depending on how badly hurt they were and how they processed it or did not process it, can mean the end of a really good relationship with you. So what do when you have created a situation where a man does not feel comfortable or safe to park his heart with you, when he does not feel comfortable to really invest and to sort of let his heart be fragile and just be open and vulnerable with you? What do when you have violated that? Is you simply give him time, space, and love to work that through. It's really very difficult, but the more you come into your authentic self, the more you dwell within your authentic space and go back to being your best version of yourself, and begin to look at yourself and think, okay, where did I go wrong? What did I say? What did I do that could have created this this space? And if I can give him enough space to process the best way that he knows how to process, and if I can be patient with him, because it's going to be very tormenting for you to be patient, because there was something that in the time of investment you were receiving every day, and now you're dealing with a deficit. And in a way, it's part of your, inverted commas, I was going to use the word punishment for want of a better expression, but it's what you have to handle. It's what you have to deal with. It's what you have to face, because that is what will bring healing. Okay, that is what will ultimately bring healing. So giving him that space, letting him take a step back and breathe and work out the way that he's going to work it out, and decide whether or not you are the woman that he wants in his life permanently. If there was enough good, enough love, enough peace, enough joy prior to meeting you, and if you're that woman, and he will have a chance in that time of space to really remember that, to miss the funny times, to miss the loving times, the cuddle times, right? So, you know, that's what you can do, is definitely let him take the space that he wants. Stop coming into his space, coming into his space, coming into his space, coming into his space, and trying to win him over, or trying to find an argument, or try and do something else. But really just allow that process and that space to create the difference. And for those of us who are still waiting to meet that person, it's really about, you know, constantly working on yourself and thinking, any hurt from my past is, if I don't deal with it, and if I don't let God work on that hurt, is going to create an environment for the man, for my Boaz, for the man that I want, the man that I love, to not feel safe. And I don't want to let yesterday's pain or today's mindset of scarcity, and all men are like this and all men are like that, to cost me the love that I've waited for so long, that I've been craving, working on, wanting for so long. So definitely you need to really be conscious and be aware of some of the processes that are going on the inside of you. And for those of you who are in relationships and this has happened, there you have it. So I hope this video was really helpful. I will see you in my next video. I'll see you on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of you and each other. Love you lots. Bye bye now.